Hello again, this is Steve Smith with Applicant Pro with another edition of Inside MFG. So today we are going to talk about employee referrals. Now, what's interesting about employee referrals is there is a statistic that you need to be aware of when it comes to not only employee referrals, but also your jobs. And that statistic is this. Did you know that most applicants, when they apply, will apply on Tuesday or Wednesday? That is the highest time frame that you'll see an uptick of applicants when they're actually applying for positions. The reason that's important is because if you're posting your jobs for the first time, you really don't want to post them on a weekend, because that's when there's the least amount of traffic. So a lot of manufacturing organizations that I work with or that I speak with, oftentimes what they will do is they'll say, oh yeah, we just posted on Friday, so that way we can capture some of that weekend traffic, and then come Monday and such, we'll get more applicants. But the reality is that is not when applicants are doing job searches. In fact, most applicants during the weekend, they're just kind of taking the time off, and they're like, you know what, it's my weekend, I'm just going to relax a little bit. So if you really want to maximize the visibility of some of your job ads online, you want to make sure they're posted for Tuesday and Wednesday, because those are the most popular days that applicants are actually applying for positions. And you can see this graph here that kind of shows that. It's kind of a fun little statistic. So the second element is obviously the employee referrals. So employee referrals are such an important part and aspect of any business, especially for those of you who are smaller. The challenge with employee referrals is one of the biggest mistakes that I see employers make is they think that they have to interview every single employee referral. And the reason that's a mistake is because, let's be honest, not every employee referral is actually going to be qualified for the position. And so you have to still be objective about the process. You can't just simply interview them because Susie referred them. They still have to be qualified for the position. Otherwise, you run into nepotism issues. You can run into other factors of discrimination and such. So there are so many elements there that you just want to make sure that you're being very objective in your process, and that if I'm going to hire somebody, they have to fit the criteria that we've already set parameters for in the first place, regardless of whether or not they're an employee referral. So it's really important to understand. So what you're seeing over here on this little graphic are kind of the 5 areas of an employee referral program with gratitude at the core. Okay, so the first thing is your reward. One of the biggest mistakes that we see with a lot of employers is their rewards program. Oftentimes their rewards program is set up to be very similar to recruiters, where I will reward you 30 days later, 60 days later, 6 months later, a year later, after training, other times. The problem is your employees are not recruiters. So why are we rewarding them like recruiters? What we should be doing is we should be rewarding them for immediately, because isn't it our job as managers to decide whether or not we actually hire them, right? It's our jobs to decide that they're qualified, not the employee. All we're asking the employee to do is to share it. We want you to share the position. And so as long as you're sharing the position and we make the decision on whether to hire them, what we have found is that when you provide an immediate reward for your employee referral program instead of one that is delayed much later on, you can increase your participation of employees by about 50% right off the bat. And there are other factors too that will increase that, but that is a big factor. So we can't treat our employees like recruiters. We need to treat them like the job sharers that we're asking them to be. We just want you to share the position with your network of friends. And by doing so, we'll make the decision if somebody's hireable, and then we can give you the reward. So even if that reward is smaller, giving it up front makes it so much better and a more rewarding experience for the employees. Because how many of you offer rewards, but then you forget later on? That's also a problem that a lot of employees kind of complain about. And so just something to really think about. It'll help increase participation. We find that having contests in place are really beneficial, because if you have a contest in place, oftentimes the contest will increase the participation of applicants. But one of the things you want to note about the contest is this: don't have one big prize at the end, because that big prize only goes to one person. What we have found is if you take the prize, let's say it's $500, and you break it into like $20, $25 gift cards, now you can give out much more rewards, if you will, to employees. You have a lot more winners involved in the process, which will boost the participation. Because when the employees feel like they have a higher chance of actually getting one of the rewards, they're more likely to participate in the program. So instead of having one big prize that only one person is going to win, break it into smaller prizes and give it to more people. And you will find that a lot more people will actually participate in that program. So that's this video for the first part of employee referrals for Inside MFG.